No need to wait for the next episode. The full audio novel is already available on my website. Check it out below. daoaudio.org. The moonlight is as clear as water, sprinkling over this quiet and endless forest. Occasionally, a beast's roar could be heard from the depths of the forest, causing the quiet forest to become even more sinister and terrifying. Xiaoyan sat cross-legged in a cave. Just as he was resting with his eyes closed suddenly, the moonlight in the sky seemed to be enveloped by dark clouds, and there was no clear glow. The entire forest was covered by a huge black shadow. Xiaoyan's expression changed, and he opened his eyes. He walked out of the cave and looked at the sky. He saw a huge black bird covering the sky. The shadow that fell on the ground made the forest extremely dark. Xiaoyan held his breath and looked at the huge body of the black bird. The wings of the black bird were hundreds of thousands of meters long, and the black feathers were as bright as fine iron. It was as if it was filled with endless power. After half an hour, the black giant bird finally flew over the forest. Xiaoyan's eyes revealed a look of deep shock. Before he could recover suddenly, hearing the loud cry of the giant bird, Xiaoyan felt as if his head had cracked. He felt as if he was going to explode, but then he let out a soft shout. This caused Xiaoyan's pain to lessen by quite a bit. After that, Xiaoyan heard an old voice coming from the distant sky. "Azure, ancient, profound bird. Our barbarian domain has no ill intentions here. We are only here to test the strength of the younger generation of our family." As he spoke, a 10,000 feet long ship appeared. It was a bronze warship that was emitting an ancient aura. A strange flame appeared in Xiaoyan's eyes as he looked at the bronze warship in the distant sky. There seemed to be a layer of light on the warship that blocked Xiaoyan's vision. "Barbarian domain. Are you from the prince's mansion in the barbarian domain?" After a while, "I am Mankunan of the northern barbarian king's mansion." The old voice hesitated for a moment and replied immediately, "Northern barbarian king's mansion." The giant black bird pondered for a moment. Then, without saying anything, it raised its head and let out a long cry. Then it spread its wings and flapped them a few times. Then it disappeared. The bronze warship. Old Tian seemed to have exhaled a breath of air, after which the bronze warship trembled. He once again lost his figure. After the bronze warship disappeared for a long time, Xiaoyan finally came back to his senses. He let out a long breath, and the shock in his eyes gradually dissipated. He mumbled, "This is a true powerhouse. Flame dragon charge." A furious roar was heard, and then a fire dragon about 60 to 70 feet long flew out from Xiaoyan's hand. It hit the huge body of the strong grizzly bear hard. The grizzly bear roared a few times. Its eyes gradually lost their luster, and it fell down unwillingly. Xiaoyan stepped forward. He felt the somewhat dried-up origin monarch chi in his body and couldn't help but sigh. Although this big guy's strength is at the late 6-star level, but it shouldn't be hard to defeat him, or the skill level is too low. Xiaoyan conveniently threw a chi recovery pill into his mouth. He sped up the recovery of the origin monarch chis. The burning spell had become an intermediate sovereign rank cultivation technique, which was something worth celebrating. However, it was only an intermediate sovereign rank cultivation technique. To Xiaoyan, who had seen the huge black bird and the majestic aura of the old man on the bronze warship last night, this was something worth celebrating. The help of an intermediate sovereign realm cultivation technique to increase one's strength was too weak. He really didn't dare to squander as much as he wanted. In a war, he could only use the fastest time to finish off the enemy. Otherwise, it would be his turn to be unlucky. And this was also what Xiaoyan was most helpless about right now. After recovering all the origin monarch keys, he felt the slightly solidified origin monarch keys. Xiaoyan smiled slightly. At this speed, he estimated that he would be able to break through to middle stage 6-star in another 10 days. Fighting was indeed the best way to quickly increase one's strength. Collecting the earth-shattering bear's monster core, Xiaoyan turned around and ran towards the other side of the forest. Even though the heavenly phoenix wings could still allow him to fly several dozen meters above the ground. However, Xiao Yan also tried his best not to use the heavenly phoenix wings. This was also Xiao Yan's idea. Running was also a type of cultivation method. When he had just crossed a hill, Xiao Yan's expression changed, and then he quickly let out a bitter laugh. Below the hill. At this moment there was a man fighting with the devil beast. Xiao Yan's eyes swept across this strong man with a gloomy face. He shook his head slightly and said to himself, "Isn't this guy courting death?" However, he was only a one-star combat emperor. He must have cultivated by himself just like me. Unfortunately, he had just arrived at the forest domain, and he had already encountered a peak 4-star devil beast. This luck. This is really unlucky. Xiao Yan just looked at it and did not have any intention of saving him. Now he could not even take care of himself. Besides, saving a 1-star combat emperor would only bring him trouble. Xiao Yan tried his best not to do it. If nothing unexpected happened, that 1-star combat emperor would do his best. In the midst of his furious roars, he was easily killed by that devil beast with a strength close to 5 stars. When Xiao Yan saw this, he immediately rushed forward. It wasn't to avenge that person, but to obtain that 5-star devil beast's monster core. Just as he was about to clean up the fighting monarch that he had killed, the devil beast saw that another human had arrived. A trace of joy flashed across its eyes, and it howled as it rushed towards Xiao Yan. "Move aside." Xiao Yan waved his hand. A 60 to 70 meter long fire dragon roared out and struck the devil beast's massive body. It knocked the devil beast back by more than 10 meters. Roar! The devil beast let out a furious howl. Its eyes were blood red as it once again crazily charged forward. It's just a tiny 5-star fighting monarch devil beast. Could it be the opposite? Xiao Yan once again used the flame dragon charge, and at this moment he took out the profound heavy ruler. He ruthlessly slapped down on the devil beast's head. In the next moment, a sound like the shattering of a watermelon was heard. The devil beast's head instantly shattered into pieces. Xiao Yan let out a cold snort, and his left hand was wrapped by the purifying demonic lotus flame. He directly grabbed the devil beast's chest and grabbed it for a moment. A pale yellow monster core was taken out. Xiao Yan faintly smiled. Just as he was about to leave, he suddenly saw an extremely illusory soul float out from the devil beast's head. It was about to escape. Xiao Yan grabbed it with a reflex. The soul screamed and struggled with all its might. He struggled to break free from the purifying demonic lotus flame and let out a miserable cry. Isn't there only a soul in the lower realms that has already transformed into a human devil beast after advancing into the fighting monarch? Why does the devil beast in this great world even have a soul? Xiao Yan stared blankly at the dying soul in the raging flames. He said in astonishment, "The only explanation is that this fellow had once devoured the other fighting monarchies in the lower realm. He had coincidentally fused with his soul." Xiao Yan said as if he was deep in thought. "But hey, fighting monarch body monster core. The monarch spirit soul can be used to refine a fighting monarch puppet." Xiao Yan smiled faintly. He placed the dead fighting monarch body into the storage ring, then placed the dying soul into a white jade bottle. He sealed the bottle with a thread of origin monarch chi and smiled. Then he rushed out of the forest. In the cave, Xiao Yan took out the fighting monarch's body, the white jade bottle that contained the soul, and the monster core of a late 5-star fighting monarch devil beast. A 5-star fighting monarch's devil beast monster core was not the best. Of course it wasn't the worst either. According to Xiao Yan's thoughts, the highest grade of the puppet he refined was a fighting monarch. It wouldn't be of much help to him now or in the future. He would have to throw it away sooner or later. He didn't need to use the best monster core. Of course, even if he didn't use it in the future, he couldn't make do with it. After all, this thing could sometimes save people's lives. Of course, Xiao Yan couldn't joke around with his own life. I wonder if refining a Heaven Fey puppet with a fighting monarch-level puppet is useful or not. Let's give it a try. With a light sigh, Xiao Yan flicked his left hand. The glazed monarch flame wrapped around the fighting monarch's body. After finishing this step, Xiao Yan closed his eyes. Refining the fighting monarch's body alone took several days. During this period of time, he could only cultivate in peace. Outside the cave, day and night alternated repeatedly. However, Xiaoyan did not take a step out of the cave from the beginning until the end. In front of him, in the midst of the colorful flames, a thin and withered corpse that was beyond recognition lay within. It was quietly burned by the flames. Unknowingly, 5 days had passed. When the 6th day arrived, the flames that had been refining the fighting monarch's body in the cave had yet to extinguish. However, the dried corpse within the flames had already shrunk by more than half. At a certain moment, Xiaoyan's tightly shut eyes slowly opened. 2 faint golden dragon flames streaked across his eyes like meteors. Xiaoyan relaxed his body and said with a smile, "I never thought that I would be able to reach the intermediate 6-star realm in these few days. Furthermore, I can vaguely sense the barrier of the late 6-star realm." After feeling the origin monarch qi surging and flowing like river water in his body for a moment, Xiaoyan could not help but laugh. In less than 3 months, he had advanced from a 2-star Do sovereign to the intermediate stage of 6 stars. He was already very satisfied. Strength. Xiaoyan let out a light breath and looked outside the cave. Looking at the boundless forest, he clenched his fists tightly. "I will definitely return to the academy." At this moment, a lot of determination appeared on his angular and slightly thin face. The body has also been refined. Xiaoyan turned his head. Looking at the gradually extinguishing 7-colored flame, he beckoned with his hand. The flame turned into a stream of light and entered Xiaoyan's body. After that, the completed body also appeared. At this moment, the body was extremely pale. There was no trace of blood, only the head still retained its original appearance. Regarding this, Xiaoyan had long become accustomed to it. He clenched his right hand into a fist and quickly punched his chest and head. 2 fist-sized holes were created. Not a single drop of blood flowed out of the holes. Xiaoyan moved his hand. A faintly red monster core fell into the hole in front of his chest, and then Xiaoyan took out the white jade bottle. He removed the origin monarch qi that sealed the mouth of the bottle. Just as he removed the origin monarch qi, an extremely illusory soul floated out. Trying to escape, Xiaoyan, who had covered the entire cave with his soul, energy instantly discovered this soul. He let out a cold laugh and a flame shot out from his hand. It turned into a fire net, and amidst the terrified screams of the soul, the fire net tightly wrapped around it. Xiaoyan waved his hand and the fire net wrapped around his soul and fell into the hole on his head. After doing all of this, Xiaoyan used the alien flame to train for a few more days, until his originally small body once again returned to its robust appearance at the beginning. 6 days passed in the blink of an eye. When Xiaoyan opened his eyes again, his body, which was lying quietly on the ground, moved. Then he slowly opened his golden eyes. After a pause, his body suddenly jumped. It stood firmly in front of Xiaoyan and didn't move at all. Xiaoyan looked at this puppet. Its appearance was similar to the original one. Its eyes were empty, and its strong body seemed to be filled with strength. It has the strength of a late 6-star expert. Not bad. This puppet can be considered a pretty good one. Xiaoyan touched the sturdy muscles of the puppet and left his soul mark on it. He smiled and said, "Your name is D.E." The puppet nodded with an indifferent expression. Its voice was shaky as it said, "D.E. Greetings, Master." Xiaoyan nodded his head in satisfaction and kept the storage ring. Feeling the surging origin monarch qi in his body, an excited expression emerged on his face. He said softly, "The matter of the puppet has been resolved. Now, I can try to break through to the late 6-star realm." Taking a deep breath, Xiaoyan glanced at the hole that was blocked by the huge rock. After thinking for a moment, he moved the huge rock away. Feeling the flow of the origin monarch qi become smoother, Xiaoyan flicked his finger. Dai stood firmly at the entrance of the cave. His emotionless eyes stared outside without blinking. After giving the order to carefully guard the cave, Xiaoyan sat down cross-legged. He slowly closed his eyes and his mind moved. He activated the origin monarch qi in his body and circulated it rapidly in his meridians. At the same time, it was as if the origin monarch qi in the cave had been summoned. It slowly surged toward Xiaoyan. Xiaoyan's body was emitting a pink flame. Although the origin monarch qi was much less after the pink flame, however, it was also much purer. The pores on Xiaoyan's skin were wide open as he greedily absorbed the pure origin monarch qi. Under Xiaoyan's control, the origin monarch qi that entered his body circulated through all the meridians in his body and into the origin monarch crystal in his dantian. The refined origin monarch qi also circulated along his meridians, strengthening his bones and cells. This absorption process was a perfect cycle. Just as Xiao Yan felt that he was about to break through the barrier of late sixth star, he suddenly heard a furious roar from outside. In the next moment, Di Yi was violently sent flying into the cave, causing the rocks in the cave to fall. Roar! Another furious roar was heard. A huge white ape with 4 huge hands, which was filled with a bloodthirsty red color, walked towards the cave while roaring.